Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Crisis Core Reunion. So my overall experience with Final Fantasy is also just my experience with Final Fantasy VII, because that's the only one I played so far. So I've played the original 7 and 7 Remake with the Yuffie DLC as well. So going in, I kind of knew what had to happen in Crisis Core because I played the original. So, let's see, what else did I know? So, things I knew before I actually played, so I kind of knew how it had to end. Because I think I might have mentioned this in my Torna video, how that's basically just like the Crisis Core of Xenoblade 2. It's like just like the prequel with a sad ending. That's kind of like how I pretty much view any prequel that has a sad ending. I just call that a Crisis Core, basically. But yeah, I didn't really know a whole lot going in beforehand, besides like what had to happen, but like just like things that happened specifically that weren't already in 7. But yeah, so going into like the plot of the game, it's basically just like the story of Zack Strife and Soldier trying to fulfill his dream of becoming a hero. So he starts off as Soldier, second class, and it goes on from there with a bunch of missions. So just going right into the things I liked and didn't like. First off, just like Zack himself, I think he's a really good person for a main character. This is just coming straight from playing Yakuza, but he's kind of like the exact opposite of Kiryu. Whereas Kiryu's pretty, emitting dangerous energy, Zack is very friendly and energetic. And I think that just overall he has a good sort of character development, what is this honor that he's supposed to uphold within Shinra, which is in itself not a super great company at all, but he doesn't really know that much, since he thinks that just the people in Soldier are just the people that do all the dirty work and don't really make any decisions. So yeah, I think Zack himself is just a great protagonist. Let's see, just with other characters as well, Angeal is another really good character that I liked, but I'm not going to get too in depth with him because he's very integral to the plot. And yeah, of course, this game also has a lot of characters that are from the original 7. So Aerith, Cloud, Tifa, and the little bits you see of Yuffie are all really good, and I enjoyed kind of seeing them with before what happens in 7, before they get dragged into that mess. So yeah, that was something that I thought was that in itself was kind of a selling point for me anyhow, just because I thought 7 was great. I mentioned this in my last video and just a minute ago, but I really like kind of bittersweet endings, and since I knew Crisis Core had a bittersweet endings before I even knew what even happened in 7 or Crisis Core, just because when it first came out, it was, from what I remember from hearing from other people, it was huge, because back then you didn't really get a whole lot of sad endings. The only other game I can think of is I might be wrong because I haven't played it, but it's Halo Reach maybe. I heard that one does, maybe, but I'm not quite sure. But yeah, it just like wasn't too common at the time, which was like, I think it came out like around 2007 or 8, maybe through 2006, not sure, but you know, early PSP. But yeah, this is like getting into the gameplay. Overall, it works. Like there can be some improvements, but the one of the main things I thought was really great was the materia fusion, which I'm more familiar with as the skill fusion from Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. It's literally just the same thing, which isn't really that surprising considering that Birth by Sleep uses the Crisis Core engine. So it kind of made sense that they just brought that mechanic in as well. And I think that just like the story overall for the game is just, it works. It does a good job of like setting up what 7 would become. And it does a really good job of it. So that's all good by me. I also mentioned in my last video for Yakuza that I had a hard time coming up with cons. I did not have a whole lot of hard times coming up with cons for this one, unfortunately. So just like the first thing, like the basic combat is really repetitive because it either feels like you're spamming materia weakness on an enemy, or if they don't have a weakness, you're spamming physical attacks and then using an AP to do way more damage at the end of it to like extend your combo. And it's kind of like a similar situation with Xenoblade 1, just like it's pretty much your same exact gameplay, even if from going from a common enemy to like a boss, you're doing the same exact thing. The only difference is how much HP they have and how much power they have. So I was kind of disappointed by that. Another thing that was disappointing, the way you get like side quests, they're not done in like a regular way that you probably find in an RPG. So usually in an RPG you'll like find someone that needs help and you get the context for why they need the help, and then that's why you go and do it, even if it's like that it's tedious to do. Like you get context and like kind of story around it. But in Crisis Core, it's just about all of them are like, Shinra needs help us. And the only thing I can think of that's like where it deviates is like with a few Yuffie quests, but that's like just about it. And the quests themselves are always just like, go here and defeat the enemy. It never really changes from that to like, go here and collect things, or go here and do something else actually, or talk to people. It's always just go here and kill enemy. So it gets really old really fast. So I did say that I like Zack and Gio. The person who I'm just gonna say this is who I would view to be the main antagonist is Genesis. He's got to be the most annoying person in the entire game. First off, just because he cannot stop quoting from this book he is literally in love with every 5 seconds in the game, and it's old after like the third time he does it, and he does it the entire game, and it's so annoying. And he himself has like pretty much zero character development at all, and he's just a boring character, which is really disappointing since Zack is such a good character. Another thing, this is more just like a missed opportunity, but one of my favorite characters from the original 7 was Vincent, and I thought that Crisis Core would be like a good opportunity to get like a little bit of more stuff from him, even if it was small. But unfortunately, the only thing he gets is like a small cameo in the Shinra basement where Zach finds him sleeping and then just leaves him there. So that was kind of disappointing. And another thing, part of one of the small things in the plot is that like 4 years have gone by, and Zach is kind of surprised by it because it didn't seem that long to him, and they don't explain this like at all, and it just leaves the player like confused as to what in the world even happened. Like it seemed like maybe it took like a month at most, and then they're like, nah, it's been 4 years. So it's just really confusing, and it just never gets resolved. And yeah, another thing that just like doesn't get resolved, the character Lazard, at one point he mentions that he like had some sort of revenge, even though there was no reason for it. He never gives a reason for as to why he wanted revenge, or like why it just suddenly disappeared, and it's just confusing. Like I thought he was an okay character until that happened, and I was like, they really didn't need to include that. They just made things way worse. But yeah, overall, I think Crisis Core is a good game. I just don't think I could recommend it to people who are going to buy it at full price. I'd probably wait for it to go on sale. But yeah, if I had to rate it, it pains me to do this since I like 7 so much. But I gotta give this a 5 out of 7. It's just like, it has some really good points, but it also has some really bad ones. Like, kind of similar with Xenoblade 1. I really liked the story, and then its characters were good, but just the gameplay was just really, really annoying and tedious. And that's kind of where it is here. Like, I like most of the characters, and the story is good, but just the gameplay and a couple other things just, like, kill it. But yeah, I am looking forward to playing Rebirth. If it comes out this year, I kind of think it's going to get delayed into next year. But, either way, I don't really mind if it gets delayed. I just care if it turns out good. So, let me know what y'all thought. In the comments if you'd played it, if you hadn't played it. Because I was talking to my friend, and he said that Crisis Core was his favorite Final Fantasy game. I'm kind of questioning his judgment after playing it now, but I mean, I guess I can see why, but just not for me. But anyway, comment if you have anything to say. Have a good one. See you later.